And like I say, outside voice.
Outside voice, all right. You'll have to remind me.
Okay, hey, Blue Brewery here at Big Blue Sun Museum, Solar Cooking, Minneapolis. And you're Dave Sullivan, who drove all the way from Toronto to join us in London, Ontario. Got a Cooper, because he just did Dave's Knocker, and back up to this place. And so, what are you doing with solar cooking? Well, first off, always the first question is, how did you discover solar energy in any way, shape, or form, especially solar cooking?
Well, I did my degree in Columbus, Ohio, and when I was studying there, I did some research into renewable energy. I was on the environmental club in high school, and was in the recycling group, and actually did some Rotary groups as well at Trent University, and so was kind of always interested in the environment. And so when I went and did my degree, I had some extra time. It was the first time I hadn't been working while going to school. And so I did a lot of research online, and I found solar cooking. And for me, it was the cheapest way in to renewable energy, because it was direct sun to heat. So for me, there's no electrical losses, there's no mechanical losses. It's just straight sun to good food.
Sure.
And then I experimented when I was camping, and the first time I ever built a panel cooker and took it out camping, I overloaded the cooker. And so I learned that really quick. You have to minimize how much food you're having in the cooker. And then I just kept going with the panel cooker, and then built a box cooker, and then moved on to the parabolic. And in my travels, I've taken them to Cuba, taken them to Florida, to South Africa, into the Kingdom of Eswatini, which used to be Swaziland, into Ethiopia as well. Through a couple organizations and through some orphanages that I helped work at. And so a couple of years ago, I found the light fire, or the sun fire oven. And they're doing the huge, the 3 meter square. Yeah, so I mean, I want to build one of those. That's kind of my next idea, to do a bakery.
Did you get their plans?
So I do have their plans. I've got their free plans. Yes, yeah. And so I mean, everything really is on solarcookers.org, and so I've just been running with that.
Sure.
And so a lot of the things I built initially in Africa were from egg boxes. They used wheat glue and aluminum foil, and then just started finding more materials to build the cookers that will be, last longer than one season.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, how about we'll start at this end with the jar and work our way this way.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold on one second. I'm going to do this for real close-up. Okay, have that going. That's okay. And else, forgot. I'm supposed to do this every time. Start off. Well, actually, got to do that. So then this thing comes all the sound.
Oh, okay.
And I can do it in the middle of the video.
Yeah, we just edited it. More work for you.
I think I'll hold this up just in case, so it'll be good to go. Okay, jar and jar. What the heck is that all about?
Yeah, so I mean, Craig has been putting this online on the Facebook groups, and so I picked it up. And so initially I just started doing the jar in the Ziploc bag, and I was using the turkey cooker bags for a while, and I just found this, I mean, it works. Unfortunately, the Ziploc bag will only last maybe 3 or 4 cooks, and then sometimes they'll melt to the lid and melt to the jar. And then I moved on to using a vase. And then, so this is your greenhouse, so that you can have your greenhouse to make sure that the heat stays in your jar.
Sure.
And then I moved on to, when I was doing bean dips and stuff like that, used into an olive jar. And then the lids just nest together.
Yeah.
And so this was a 600 ml jar. I was using salsa jars for a while, and then moved up to the bigger pickle jars.
Sure.
And went from the cardboard to the coroplast, and instead of the aluminum foil, went to the glue-back mylar.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the cook it, or there's a couple of
this is the cook it. This is the modified units or something like that. So this is easier to cook out. There's to cut out. There's no angles, no radiusing. It's just straight edges.
Yeah.
So very easy to template. I just built a template for it, and then I just used the template, and I think I've built about 50 of these at this point.
Yeah.
From and then did at summer camps, done some workshops with kids, and then gone to some summer schools and taught solar cooking based on the stem.
Sure.
The pizza box oven.
Yeah.
But unfortunately here the pizza box doesn't work very well.
Right.
We need larger reflectors in Canada. And so I want to modify the STEM curriculum to include the panel cooker instead. Because I think if you're going to make the effort, you should do something that's going to be reusable.
Yeah.
And then I bought some of the. I mean, a lot of this. These are pieces I've purchased, but I started using old signs and just scrap material to build smaller reflectors.
One of my fellow Minnesota solar cooks, he waits for the election cycle.
Yes. Yeah, the election signs are gold.
Yeah, because they're huge and they're and usually free, and especially for the losing candidates.
Yeah.
They won't run again.
Yeah, so if they don't run again, the signs just pile up in someone's garage.
Yeah. Well, cool. Okay, well, let's try the sport, of which I have a handful. I find like someone selling for $50 on Craigslist.
Yes, you know what? People don't know how to use them.
Right.
And so they don't get the focal point right.
Yeah.
It comes with this neat little suction cup to get the focal point right. And if you lose that, you'll never quite get it right. So I've been buying welding glasses and then just adjusting the focal point. And so what I found, if you actually put a brick underneath this leg and you tip it up a little bit, you get a better focal point.
Wow, okay.
So I was using a piece of 2x4 and just getting the one leg a little bit up, and it helps get the focal point set right. So.
And what do you
then,
usually cook on this?
Yeah, and then the one problem I found with this cooker, because of the focal point, these plastic mounts melt.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was looking at having those machined
Yeah.
so that it'll last a little bit longer.
Sure. And
But I mean, this was a great purchase for me. I got it on Kickstarter. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore. But it's I've used it more to reheat food than to cook. I mean, you can cook 2 eggs in this very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so that's what you've been able
But
to cook.
yeah, reheat some pasta, reheat rice, or something like that.
Sure. Okay. And
then I've used 1.5 meter, one of the metal stamped reflector
Oh, yes, sure.
parabolics.
Yep.
So I use that to do like a corned beef hash, do sausages, pancakes, crepes. I'll do eggs, bacon.
Yeah.
I also did some what are they called? Chickpeas, like made a
hummus
spicy.
or-
A spicy chickpea, like a.
oh, right, sure, yeah, sure, yeah, right, yeah.
And I mean, anything you do on a regular stove top, you could do with a parabolic. Yeah. You just have to keep adjusting it. You have to follow the sun and get your focal point correct.
Yeah. And that particular model, I know on eBay, it's $89.91. It's
Yeah,
almost
I mean,
the exact same price.
For you in the U.S., it's much cheaper to get it into Canada. I think it's about $300.
Oh, no.
To get it off.
Oh, you're doing, okay, wow.
Or get it off Amazon. It's $300.
Yikes. That's insane.
But it's, I mean, the hardware that came with it, I found that what I did was I just upgraded to lock washers and used some tubing so that the parabolic itself would be a little more stiffer.
Sure.
So then it doesn't make so much noise in the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, vacuum tube.
Vacuum tube, yeah. I bought a couple of these, again, off eBay. I mean, we find a lot of stuff on eBay, right?
Sure.
And so this is a smaller one, but you can do, I've done eggs in this, made small cakes. You do chicken wings, turn out really well. I just have a friend of mine is welding up some trays for me, so I've got, I'm doing a run of 8 of these right now. I've got this finally figured out. And so, I mean, it would be nice to do a larger one because you could cook bigger food or larger volume of food. Sure. But to experiment and get it working off the bat, I went with the smaller tubes.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
And then I've shattered one of these. I put in some frozen chicken wings, and as soon as the frozen chicken wings hit the glass, it just blew into a million pieces.
A little shock. We've all been there.
Yeah. So not for the faint of heart. I mean, they are expensive. So if you don't take care of it, it's a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got the trough reflector, and that is that
Yeah,
aluminized mylar, or is that?
It is. Again, it's the coroplast with the aluminum mylar,
Yep.
or aluminized mylar, and this is a signboard.
Oh, sure.
So my brother is a pinstriper and sign painter, and so he gave me some offcuts.
Sure. That's a little more rigid.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
much more rigid.
Yeah.
And then we use some automotive trim just to hold in the tube.
Sure.
Yeah.
And which, if any, of these do you bring to South Africa?
In South Africa, I've done it's the panel cooker.
Sure.
So I mean, one egg box that has 30 dozen eggs will make one panel cooker.
Okay.
And so I also found they have some sealing board they use in their bathrooms. It's kind of like coroplast, but it's a little more rigid.
Sure.
And so I've used contact cement and chip bags to build panel cookers there.
Sure.
In South Africa. Well, in the kingdom of Eswatini, which used to be Swaziland. Yeah.
It's kind of like partly in South Africa.
Yeah, it's landlocked by South Africa, and I mean some of the tribes are the same lineage of the tribe.
Sure.
The Zulu and the Swazi people.
Like Lesotho, a little further
Yeah,
west.
Lesotho and
And you've been here how many times?
6 times now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you are posting some of your stuff on
I
your
do. Yeah,
channel.
I'm posting a bit of my stuff on my channel,
Yeah.
and then I've got to, get my act together and start editing some of my content.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the hard work.
Yeah. So my website is Cooking with the Sun.
Cooking with the Sun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I usually have a lot of questions, but you're really thorough here, and you've been in it long enough, and you know the variety to use. You're using pretty much every one that.
You know what? If it's a full Sunday and I'm cooking 3 meals, I'll use 3 different types of cookers, 4 different types of cookers to do the different dishes, depending on what you're cooking. I have a Heaven's Flame box cooker that I use, and I do a Guinness beer bread. I've tried other beers and stuff like that, but I like Guinness. So I mean, like a quick bread with Guinness is wonderful and tastes great. So that's kind of my staple that I've stuck with.
Sure.
And then I've done the coffee can bread in a panel cooker as well, but I found it's more like a malt loaf as opposed to like a quick bread. And so definitely a box cooker is better for baking, and you can do casseroles and definitely stews. Done stew in the box cooker, and you can buy those cheaper cuts of meat.
Sure.
Just leave them a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about locally? Are you doing anything to promote locally, like schools or?
I'm trying to. I've met some Montessori school teachers, and so I'm trying to connect with them to get in and help them with their science curriculum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Solar Education Project and the textbook?
Yeah. Yes, but unfortunately, like in Ontario, the education curriculum, they haven't adopted much of that. So it's a completely different stream from the U.S. So I've been thinking about trying to get in and start trying to see what I can do with the local government to try and change some of the education. But I mean, really, that's not my thing. I'm an electronics engineer, so
Sure.
yeah. So.
Yeah. I highly recommend getting a copy of it. It's all physics, but with all of the aspects of solar cooking, illustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also 6 or 7 stories of people that are doing solar cooking around the world. Unique ways of promoting it or unique cookers. It's really nice. It's about 100 pages. I'd say when I first read it, I thought this could go anywhere from like 6th grade up through like junior college. It's not too demanding, but very informative, rich in information. So, okay. Anything else you want to share about your?
I've gone through quite a few things now already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at maybe producing a parabolic cooker in Canada, and working with a couple of companies. I have some friends who do plastics, and so I'm looking at maybe getting this produced locally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have when you're cooking with a panel cooker, you have to have the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that, like, this is what's doing the cooking, and the panel is just reflecting. It's a passive device.
Yeah.
People think that this is a solar panel or this is like an electric solar panel, but really it's just a passive reflector.
Yeah. When I demo this, can I touch it? I say, yeah, it's cold. It's not, it's
Well, that's what I do. I let people touch this. So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
this is in the sun and it's cooking, this is hot.
yeah.
And so that's what people don't really understand. They don't get the concept of that. This is their focal point, and you're cooking here in the vessel, not on the panel itself.
Sure. Are you networking with other solar cookers in the Toronto area? Or?
I tried to find some people. There was somebody in Burlington that did have the light fire, and
Wow.
they were doing crepes and roasting coffee, but I don't know what happened to them. They were at a farmer's market, and then I didn't see them, couldn't find them anymore.
Sure.
After the pandemic, so.
Weird. They had the light fire that far back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Like I say, I know they have been around. Long enough.
Well, I think it was somebody who was in Europe and then had come over here.
Oh, must have. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Have you heard of home biogas?
Yeah.
They're out of Israel. I bought one of those units and sent it to the orphanage in Eswatini.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and they had it set up. It worked for about 5 years, and then because of the sun, the tarpaulin and stuff started to wear out, and then the seams started leaking, so they couldn't maintain the pressure.
Yeah.
So I was looking for some tarp tape or something to send them so they could retape all the seams on the digester.
Yeah. What about that?
We're actually really fortunate in Toronto. We have it's called Zoo Share, and it's a biogas plant, and they're using food waste from Loblaws and manure from the zoo.
Okay.
And so it was set up initially as an energy co-op, and so there's a whole bunch of bond owners that were local in Ontario, and they've been producing now. It's now they're starting to turn a profit on the biogas.
And then, like, you subscribe to it and you can fill up a tank with it at home? Or?
No, they sell it right to Toronto Hydro.
Oh.
And so it's generating from the biogas from the zoo waste and grocery store waste. They've got their own power plant.
I hadn't heard of that, but it's like the no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I bought quite a few bonds from them from when they're doing their different series.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was actually doing on the winter solstice this year. I was using a box cooker to pasteurize water.
Cool.
To make to make water potable.
Yeah.
And I've been making the Wappies as well.
Oh, nice.
The water purification indicators.
With the plastic tubes and
the
wax?
plastic tubes, yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's a Lexan, right?
Oh, yeah. So it's a polycarbonate or kind of a variation.
So it's food safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, with stainless steel. And
yeah.
So I've been making those, and then I've been selling a bunch of them as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because they don't. I haven't seen them in Canada.
Yeah.
So.
And there are two outfits that we're doing them one time in the States, but I haven't had luck emailing them.
Well, there's the guy in the Rotary in California who's doing it as a project. So I can send you his information.
Oh, please do. Yeah. Do you know the name?
I don't know if they're still available. I'll have to look up my information.
Yeah. Roger Haynes, big Rotarian. Probably every third person my first trip said, well, I got started because the Rotaries had a project, and it was a clean cooking thing, and you learned about solar cooking. So hats off to the Rotaries.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And you're going to join which?
Well, I'm going to talk with David. I'm going to join the clean cooking group.
That's where the S right. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one. Yeah. Well, thanks so much. I can't think of anything else.
It was great to meet you, Lou. Thank you for coming to Canada.
Yeah. Thanks for coming all the way down here from Toronto. It's going to save us a little bit of trouble to get to our next
6 hours of driving.
Oh, that's right. It was man.
More,
and I'll be
doing. There was a couple accidents heading east on my way here.
Oh no.
Every trip.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again.
Yeah. Thank you, Lou.
You bet.